You're live.
Well, good morning, everybody. And we are here again on this fine 24th of February. Sitting here getting ready to try and extract some money out of the markets. Um, there really isn't much on the economic calendar for today. And if you saw the action in the market on Thursday and then again on Friday, what you've noticed is that we seem to have quickly turned from an uptrend to a downtrend. With what I think me and Leslie talked about, I think it was like $7 trillion worth of losses for people um, just over that really, really, really short time span. Um, if you've been tuning in, you didn't get hosed. So there's that. Um, there was some headlines that aren't very well confirmed, but what I am thinking fundamentally is that this has a lot to do with um, the headlines about a new COVID virus coming out of China. Um, Obviously, we saw what that did and what it led to, and I could see why people would be fearful. We also think that that's why some of your healthcare sector is up today, but we're here with you guys to get to the money, even on a bright red day. Um, I'll share kind of my chart. Let me go ahead and share that. Um, Indices are what I prefer to trade of all varieties. If we're looking at NDX, which seemed to be quite a bit stronger over the last, I'd say NDX has been a bit stronger. So your tech sector. And what we're looking at here, we're on a daily. We printed a red candle here on the 20th for the daily with a nice wick. And then you can see how remarkable the red candle that we printed on Friday was. And a level that I have been watching has been this, because price has memory, is this 382 level right here. It seems to be the next logical place to the downside if we're unable to hold that 50 moving average. But if you look at where the 382 is, you will see that 21,300 here on NDX has been a consistent level of both support. Well, no, just support. It's been a great level of support, and we have launched off of that a time or two. So I'll be watching that today very, very closely. The SPX chart is it marked up? Let me see. Go back to my daily. Um, I don't have the fibs here, and this green candle you see is printing for today, but you see that these charts look almost identical. And the level that I'd be targeting here is that 5940-ish level, coincidentally. UNH is up for, it's still down. It had some really bad news on Friday and it started to take a tumble. They brought it back up a little bit, but there's a lot of, I'm not going to go into marking this one up. We've already kind of looked at it extensively, but there's a lot more downside potential here on UNH. I think what we saw when the CEO was murdered, that probably should have been a thing. And as he was murdered, but for the reason which he was targeted, being how they're denying claims and so this investigation should not have come as a surprise. It went up in spite of all of that. And so what goes up must come down, and it's got a long, 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 long way that it could run to the downside. This is another one that I'll be watching. I am in some puts that I purchased last Friday. They are monthly for March. So I'm expecting more of the downside to materialize here. So that's how we're kind of starting the day. And then again, looking for opportunities both on the call and the put side, because you should be able to extract money from this market any day.
Thank you, Natasha. And
You're
so
welcome, ma'am.
I have a few things that I've just jotted down this morning. Um, my morning has not been typical, but some of the things that I've noted are I'm looking at potential Baba puts, and my basis is what are they talking about? Um, my basis is the daily chart, this gap here. What chart was I looking at? Weekly? It might have been the 4 hour. Nope, it looks like it was the daily. If I were to draw my fib from low to high, we're at 135.90. I don't know. I want to see what the lower time frame candles produce because hold on a second. Let me get this out the way. Reset the chart. This may have been what I was looking at because if we break this 133 level, 133.71, there's a great potential that we could get into 121, which would make sense. This has been running now since January 21st. So a little over a month, maybe time for a reset. And if I just move my fib, we are at the 50. But of course, these deeper levels are always what I'm looking for. So I'll be watching that. What else do I have? I COST Costco. On the higher time frame, weekly chart. Just looking at the fact that there's no real support until about 995, 999. If you use the wicks, it would be 1,009, but that is a decent trading range, even if it were only to the wicks at 1008. So just drop down real quick and see what that looks like on the low time frame. Potential move to the 0.5, which is always a definite. To me, the 0.5 is a definite. So we should touch 1019. On Costco, what else did I have here? Low. This is one that you pointed out to me, and I think there was some fundamental basis possibly supporting it. But this is a weekly chart. I am
Lows.
growing to love these higher time frames more and more every day. But we are at 240.11, which means we've broken my 618 level. And the next target would be 232 and potentially as low as the 200 moving average. So that also provides a nice trading range. And that's a heck of a lot of puts. Let me just I put this one down, but I don't remember looking at the charts. So let me see what this is given. Just real quick. Okay, so you seeing what I'm seeing?
I left my glasses upstairs. It's like so anybody can see me like
I wish I
tall
could
into
leave
my.
my glasses upstairs, but we would not even be able to hold this conversation. Um, but so what I'm seeing on this chart is, and it's probably supported by politician trading, but what I'm seeing on this chart is great upside potential. So we'll be looking for like on the lower time frames, looking for a call entry off of this 200. And let me just check one more thing. Yeah, so we'll see how that plays out because there are a couple different possibilities, but definitely looking for a call entry on Devon, which I believe is in the energy sector, which has been kind of battered for a while. And the only thing that I have a couple more puts, but I'm not gonna go through all of those. The only other thing
Your
that
Palantir
is
should be
on
printing, baby. Printing.
what's printing?
Your Palantir should be printing.
Oh, I gotta check it.
I closed those the other day in significant profit and didn't re-enter.
I think it was one of those situations where I might have closed most of them and then roll what was left. But I don't know. Oracles is giving potential call energy. And so as always, it'll be a crazy 9:30 trying to see what's going to be the play of the day. Just taking a general look at what has been moving is penny stocks. Quite a few of them down a lot. I think that Baba put is going to be my favorite. Oklo still dropping.
Oh,
I mean, look,
I'm,
this
I'm
is
still
looking
sitting
to
here,
me.
and so
You still in Oklo puts?
no, I'm not still in Oklo puts. I am. The only puts I have open now are UNH and Carvana, though. Um, sent you the screenshot of
Look
what
at this.
Tesla
I
was
know you saw
doing.
this.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute. let me come back over here so I can see.
So
Let me,
it looks a little more enticing. This is a 4 hour chart and we're below the 21. So
mhm.
I think there's all of that potential there and that might happen really quickly today. Um, Setting us up for tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Oklo has about $5 more of range, I think. I want to look at Tesla, but all right, let's flip this
I
list.
was just looking at it. So while you're sharing that, okay. So while you're sharing that, I'll go and look because it had that nice spike this morning, and
Can you see while you're fiddling around over there if MLGO has options?
yep, MLGO.
Hmm. Not a penny
Oh, micro
stock
algo.
movement.
Nope, no options.
Plenty want to run with this little boy. What else do I see?
So let me redraw. Where did I redraw this? Nope, I drew it here, which is fine. I will tell you though, so in terms of Tesla has some potential. Tesla is getting on my last nerve, to be honest with you. But so the news there with Tesla was the full self-driving in China, some approval for that. It was this morning in pre-market. I think it was down to 334-ish. And that news came out, and in an instant, we saw that it flew right back up. What I have noticed, and I think this is part of why you like to play with Tesla on a Thursday, um, it will spike. It'll spike here, it'll spike like, and then it keeps coming down and doesn't recapture its weekly high the remainder of the week. And so I will be looking for a nice short setup on Tesla just whenever it presents itself. The market overall feels super weak to me. So what are you? Let me come back over here. Well, you do that. I'm looking at this lemonade chart. It's actually kind of interesting to me. This is really hard with no glasses, ma'am. is sitting at a pretty interesting position here on this chart. It's below the 886, but not by much on the 4 hours. So how much measurement is this? You only need about $2 worth of range here. If you look at it on the daily, it's above the 200 and kind of crossing the 2150. Um, and the reason why we're looking at Lemonade, it's a stock that we used to play. Um, and just stop messing with it. But at some point, and we were just kind of reviewing this morning, like, oh, well, what has earnings today? Let's look at some things. And obviously, the fact that it had earnings made us want to go back and look at it. And I will share my chart with you so that you can see what I'm talking about here. Let me get back over here. So when we look at this weekly time frame, for those of you who are in the mentorship, you can see that it's positioned quite nicely on the weekly with your moving averages and where the fib levels are sitting. Then we drop that down to get a little bit more granular. You can actually see that this is one of our more ideal setups that we teach here in terms of when to enter. But I am loving the way this daily looks. And I'm looking here at the range that would be required to get us above the rocket launch level here on the 4 hour. So this is a thing that we will be watching today. Carvana, we talked about that on Friday, and I took some at like 186%, then I took some more at like 225%. My runner is at about 300%, and by the time my put expires, I won't hold them that long, but it's at a support level where if it can't hold here, this thing is going down in a blaze of glory. So I'll probably be looking to potentially roll my puts on that one. Meta on Thursday, Friday looked like it could potentially have some level of a bounce. Sounds like Leslie's back. But when we look at this kind of on the lower time frame, since it wasn't able to recapture, that's kind of positioned this a little bit differently. I did have some longer term calls that I got out of on the Friday bounce, but it's looking like it needs to kind of hold here, or let me just try and expand that a little bit more so you can see the levels a little bit better. If it doesn't hold here, we have quite a bit more range to the downside. On this daily, we can take a look at it on the 4 hour, and so we have clearly lost the 2150.
I'm sorry about that.
I was about to say, what is that? Leslie and all her noise. So that's a chart that we also discussed this morning. That do you have anything,
I
ma'am?
did have Meta on the list. I don't know. I'm just gonna do a quick stroll through the list and see if there is anything else because we have 10 minutes. I was just checking to see in my accounts what was where in that time that I was away.
Well, I'm gonna run and go grab some more coffee and check on. I'm gonna grab some coffee and check on the housekeepers. They've got me in the man cave today because they're up there making all that noise cleaning. So I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, guys. Let me share my screen so you can see at least my process. And again, just kind of hunting, I guess, is what you would call it. Where we at? So, all right. So, MLGO is one that has, I forget what the news was, but been running off news for several days now. There are no options on it. But if I can potentially catch a retrace, I may be buying some shares of that today just to catch this nice amount of upside. I see 14 as a definite potential level. Data Bridge, DBRG. We're in Data Bridge calls from last week. And so that is looking like, just based on going through all of the different time frames, that it has taken its lumps over an extended period. So from at least October, but potentially, yeah. Um, Almost for the life of the stock, but double top back in 2022. And so it's been taking a beating for a long time. It seems to be a fintech company. Um, and with it having retraced so deeply, let's just see. I look at this stuff in the morning before we get on here and then have forgotten what I looked at by the time we get on the live. But yep, so numbers are looking better than ever. Um, like I said, we're in data bridge calls, and it looks like from the chart that it has some real room to run. Let me see. We got to contend with the 200 moving average. That is, for me, the strongest, or I should say, one of the strongest support and resistance on my chart. But on the lower time frames, we've already dealt with those quite impressively. So there's that. And we did that off of an earnings miss. So I don't know. It may just be for me doubling down on some of the stuff that already holding. Did you look at Nvidia while I was knocked off the internet?
We did not go over NVIDIA. I'm sure it's here in my watch list, nice and marked up. NVIDIA just, I feel like NVIDIA has some room to run. So even before I pull the chart, I had 150 to 170 range. It's just a matter of over what time period. And looking at a chart's going to tell us now, isn't
What
it?
is
So,
scary to me though is
um,
that what I've been noticing is stuff that you think should run. Like, okay, we beat earnings, it was exceptional, it should be running, is tanking. And some stuff that should be tanking off earnings is actually running. And so, not really sure how I feel about Nvidia going into earnings, but I certainly don't want to miss whatever it does. Yeah, that is a thing.
yeah. And I think, that I am a fan of what I would call the tertiary trade, right? So that's secondary trade. Um, Avgo has paid me a number of times now. And I'll be looking for Broadcom to pay me again in light of whatever happens. Do I have two different bips around here? It looks like I do. Um, Interesting. I'll be looking for it to pay me again. Avgo, it's a good mover. We've made some money there, and actually, I should probably be looking at an LRCX chart as well. But Avgo is going to be the debate in terms of price action of whatever happens with these NVIDIA earnings. The contracts are going to be slightly more. We're there for Avgo. So NVIDIA reports this week and Avgo reports the week after. But so we know that premium holds better for an earnings play. So I don't mind spending a little bit of extra money to make that the other trade. So I will be,
Are you saying on Avgo?
huh?
You saying on
Yeah, I'll be
Avgo?
playing Avgo rather than on Avgo Broadcom. So I'll be Abgo will be my play based on.
I
I think
killed Avgo
that
earnings.
mhm,
Go ahead, you
we've
think?
played Abgo a couple of times. Um, LRCX has already had earnings, and LRCX has been actually doing. We played that in the lead up to earnings as well. But LRCX has been doing very well, even on these red days. It's been kind of holding its position here. So I don't think I think that's also a good secondary play. Um, we have 4 minutes till market open, so you may want to open your uh, accounts and things. I'm getting ready to drop a few things down to the 15 to take a look at them once the market opens.
342.
Now, how did I miss that? Okay, dokie. I need a new fib on my SPX. That's fine. Ooh, there's so much range in these indices. But just, like I was telling everybody else, I feel uh, very strongly that um, we talked. Did I share that article with you about Citadel and how Citadel is basically a market maker for those who don't know, but they paid something like 7 billion. Let me see. Let me go back to that so I can quote accurately. But they're paying all of this money purely for order flow. So the market trapping people short and long, and we saw that it's been a consistent pattern all year. It's like just like on those huge 200, 300 point down days, and then miraculously 2 days later it's recovered all of that loss. But let me open, first of all, let me open my trading accounts. Let me do that. um
That is what I'm doing. I'm gonna be ready
yes.
today. I'm gonna spend these next 2 minutes getting myself together with my
Yeah, and
accounts.
I'm gonna look for this article.
Um,
um nope, it's not down there. It's got to be
I
over
think Carvana has
here.
so much more room. I'm looking.
Listen, that's what I'm thinking about rolling. Um, so Citadel paid $943 million just to see the order flow. And that was over 9 months. So the market maker, you're playing chess with somebody who is controlling. So none of these things. You get to a support, or you get to here, you get to there, and the market just seems to crap out on you in the middle of nowhere. The market loves to trap people short and long. Period. Um, on the daily, it looks like we could bounce on the SPX, but we'll have to see what the action looks like. Because if we don't stop here, oh,
We live. The market's open. Let's get it. So
oh, okay.
now UNH was down 7% in
That
one
means,
second, and then
hmm I guess when we get a free moment, we should probably also talk about what is it that we should be talking about? Let's see. Close these trades.
yeah, I'm looking to see what my
Not
Palantir
yet.
put is doing.
It is putting. It is definitely putting. I think I'm looking for a roll on Carvana is what I'm doing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna look to roll Carvana. Jeez. Let's see what this looks like. Um, hmm, I need to. These Carvana puts, the premium is insane now.
I think it was pretty insane before, honestly. And then the
I mean, I was okay. So you were in the 95s there and getting ready to go into the money. That they are. That they are. Interestingly, coin seems to be trying to make up some of its loss from the other day.
so Bitcoin was trading in that one range. Let me just pull it up. Straight in that one range, and it is ranging, consolidating in that range. What Fibonacci is this? Like, what am I looking at?
Yeah.
Um,
I think for more upward movement in the market, we need to kind of see that I would think we need to see some movement in Bitcoin to the upside for that to materialize.
I don't know. Was it on Bitstamp? Like what I was looking at that where my fib is. Oh, there it is. So we consolidated in this range. Then we broke down, consolidated in this range, here, here. And so we can do one of two things. We can go back up and consolidate in this range again, or we can break to the downside. And to me, everything about it is saying stuff is low and slow. Yeah, everything about it is saying break to the downside. But we'll see. We'll see.
Let's see what UNH is doing. It seems like it's trying to make some downward movement, but very little as of right this second. Oh, that's what I think we kind of came to the conclusion that the SMCI report needs to be out by the close of business tomorrow. So that is also another thing that I will be kind of eyeing and toying and what have
But what
you.
I'm kind of seeing here is that everything is declining pretty significantly. There's some stuff that it looks like it
Hmm.
might be setting up for a bounce. Like I definitely was interested in hymns again because on the higher time frame,
And they have earnings. Ooh, I feel like tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
they have a pretty good earnings history. Definitely beat most of the
Hmm.
time. Oh, that's not even them.
But with the history at present of nothing actually doing what it's supposed to, I think that's a whole thing here. I don't think that it looks like the market wants to just crater. I don't know if you're seeing it, but
I think the market is cratering, but the other thing
it's like
that I'm
everything.
seeing is there are a few things that are at levels that look like they may turn around and run because of just how deeply they've retraced already. Trying to find out which are going to be the best um, is the trick. See, Tim is. I hate saying that because it's like I'm saying somebody's name, but it bounced right off my level. Um, so there are those things that are just primed. This was another one that I was like, okay, that's my level right there. And if I draw the
And that's very fair. I just think it's really hard for anything to really go up when you have the market moving 100 points in the negative. It's just difficult for things to go
I
up.
mean, you say that, but I'm looking at stuff that's up 15%, 12%. And so, yeah, for the most part, I would agree with you, but there are those things that, for whatever reason, news, what they're doing, or whatever that just are not going to move with the market. And those are the things that I'm looking for right now.
Let's take a look at what. Perhaps like lemonade. Did you take a look at the chart set up on lemonade? I like it.
LMND. I didn't. I remember you mentioning it this morning, and that's
I have
fintech.
it marked up. I can go ahead and share it.
I think fintech is one of those things. Like NU is another one that's set up. I love this setup actually. Um,
So if you look at it, what am I doing
over
here?
there.
I'm trying to make some daggone money. Mm, mm, mm.
Well, it's time
Okay,
for me to say I'm hungry. So now we've gotten that out the way. Okay.
so I don't know how well you can see my chart, but so we looked at it on. I don't. I think I drew this off the weekly just because it was the best time frame for me to take a look at it on. But if we look at where it's positioned here on the weekly, it looks pretty good, and then it looks even more enticing when we look at where it is on the daily, and then that 4 hour setup is just there's very little range that's required to get it over all of the moving averages. Ooh, look like my pussy's gonna put.
My problem is I don't know how you see that without glasses on, and I have glasses on, and I
Girl, because you should see me. So I'm hoping people are seeing my screen and not me looking like I want to kiss my computer screen. And that's that's what I'm looking at.
so Google.
Um,
Might be short in Google again. Let me look at what the levels would be on a higher time frame. Google has a gap. I'm lazy, so all right. I was looking for levels, waiting for my SMAs to load, but there's a gap down to 175, which puts us right back at the 200 SMA. So I think that's potential for people who have patience and can buy some time. Amazon should be done, I would think. I think I'm about to go in some Google.
one would think. Oh,
There was something
let's
else.
see.
Amazon. Oh, Tesla.
Oh yeah, I do need to look at Tesla
Oh,
again.
he's talk. Okay, so
Yep,
yeah, job cuts at Tesla. You know what job cuts do?
that and the China. Mm-hmm.
Job
And
cuts at
that I do.
Tesla, and we're looking at a $10 range. So for the unlearned, job cuts usually produce an increase or appreciation in stock price. And that coupled with some other stuff that was said about Tesla this morning and just the chart setup has me just seeing what Tesla calls look like. Oh yeah, the other thing was that autonomous taxi service in China, is that in June? So yeah, I'm looking at Tesla calls, options overview. Ooh, 340. You awfully quiet over there, man.
Sorry, someone was speaking to me. Actually,
Oh.
not someone. My husband was speaking to me, and so rather
Hi,
than be
husband. Natasha's husband.
Leslie just said,
Um,
"Hi." Hey, look, you made the show.
I love Natasha's husband. He's the best. February 20. What am I looking at? Okay, I want expiring after.
So you were like, so because my screen is up one time. So you're looking at a Tesla call.
Yep, it's giving me my red candle that I want. So I'm gonna risk it. Probably just in a day trade, but I'm gonna put a little bit of time on it. Exclude expiring after the
Woo,
24th.
are you still holding any carbon,
Puts.
ma'am? Yes.
No, I'm not. And I meant to get back in it, but I done looked at 1,000 things. Don't even tell me. How about that?
I mean, it's not doing horrible. This is what I would say. It's doing all
So,
right.
okay, I kind of like, I got a March 21st Tesla call. That's a possibility. Let me see if I can get closer to the money without spending $50,000.
Well, I'm just looking here. I like to take my entries closer to 10:30, but let's see. This 15 is okay.
All right, I'm gonna get these
I mean,
three.
it's sitting right at the 50. Looks like it could bounce off of that.
I want to remember to watch Tesla because I'm not sold just yet.
Well,
Um,
that's why I'm not. I need to see what it does because Tesla does what Tesla do.
but if I let me look at down because I think this is my moment. This is
And
my
see, I
moment.
feel like
Elon
this
wants
market
you
wants to
move.
just drop. So we have Palantir approaching our 94. We can ready to see what it do.
I'm not even looking at it, which is crazy. Um,
Uh,
accounts,
well, it is
trade.
crazy, but you said that you said you're out or you rolled.
I guess I roll because I'm not out.
Uh-huh.
Options.
So I'll be curious to see if it holds, because we got a long way down if this thing breaks. So
I'm
I'm
going
also
to
just
hold.
thinking, I don't know. I'm not sold just based on what I'm seeing. I'm not sold on Tesla. I mean, obviously you will take what you want to, but I'm not sold on it.
I am looking at the 5 minute and I kind of am. Like listen, you just set a stop loss and so I am. I like this. And I like to enter my calls on red candles. So this is all me. My
Absolutely.
need to figure
Um,
out is
and so
where I
just for,
can.
the folks who are listening, you as a trader will decide your trade style and how you like to enter. Um, my entry ideas typically start on a 15 minute. Um, they typically start on a 15 minute rather than a five. My exits are usually based on a five. But clearly we're both over here making money. So, her preferred entry method doesn't have to be mine and vice versa.
No, I'm actually over here missing my entry. I'm yeah. I like what I'm
Mm,
seeing. And so that is one difference between our trading styles, I think, is that you said what starts on a 15?
I generally take my entries on a 15.
Oh, okay. Okay, me too. Um but
My
like
exits are on a five. Yeah.
I feel like you are more, what was my strike price? I feel like you're more of a shorter term trader. And so
I am.
having you here is making me look at and take some more shorter term trades. But man,
I said, well, baby, don't you miss your entry on based on me here.
I'm
Just, I
not.
mean,
It's more about me running my mouth and trying to walk and chew bubblegum at the same time than anything.
interestingly enough, it seems. Oh, okay. I think we're going to take. The last of our Carvana at 415%, I think is what we're going to do here.
I had to have gotten executed. Okay, so I am.
Or are we? I don't know, ma'am. Interestingly, coin is trying to stay green.
The reason why I don't like trading Tesla is because it's like that family member that steals. Like when Tesla is in the house or when Tesla is in the portfolio, you gotta watch it.
Don't leave your purse around. You're funny, but that family member who steals. I mean,
Man,
well, um,
Carvana.
so just
Okay, let me see if the other stuff is doing that as well. Like I think Google had a lot more. Maybe that'll be the other trade I take. I think based on what I'm looking at on the Google daily chart, that we should close that gap and that will put us right on our 200 SMA and
mm-hmm.
also the 71 fib level. So I like Google. I'm not taking 1,000 trades today. Um
I told you I'm kind of short. I'm kind of short in my mind. My present bias is short, and so until I can confirm that, I'm not really fooling with much of anything.
I feel you. I really, really do. I'm trying to also narrow down because one of the things that I've been looking for over the weekend was those sectors that have already been battered and bruised and are at levels where we might expect to see a bounce. SMCI is, let's see, SMCI is at a level and it's at a moving average. All right, so that's an
Hmm.
opportunity, that's potential, and also Intel. But I feel like we kind of heavy in Intel right now.
I'm feeling like Palantir is crapping the whole entire bed. Somebody get it a bedpan and some some wipes, something.
If something changes, let me know because I'm not looking at it. I'm just letting it do its thing.
You're just letting it do its thing.
Everything
All right.
is it's all bad.
Looks like
It's
it
all
wants
bad.
to drop.
DBRG. Even Data Bridge. Let me get out of my Data Bridge. No reason for me to hold through whatever it's about to do. Mm, mm, mm.
I wonder if there's a Bitcoin dump coming because MicroStrategy started the day up. It's down.
I told you I think Bitcoin is going to trade to that lower level. Okay, Tesla. See, that's what I'm talking about. The stealing cousin. I'm not worried about it though. I have some time on it.
But this is exactly why I was just like, not enough yet for me. Not enough. Um,
QBT.
yeah, I think we have a Fast and Furious dump. I'm like I said, and I'm not. I'm also not in anything to the upside, so there's that.
Mm, where is my data bridge? ERG. Not
Yes, that's
there.
feeling cousin, honey.
Back again another week
Palantir.
with trades everywhere. Um,
Hmm.
oh, T Doc X's. T Doc looks like a bounce to me. Hims looks like a bounce to me.
Well, and Hims has earnings, so that's probably important.
I'm just going to stay in my T Doc and let that act as my what do you call it, secondary trade, act as my secondary trade.
Hmm.
I do. AW and PDD. Oh, I'm supposed to be short and Baba. And
Oh,
I,
you sure were.
oh my God, I missed it. It's down 10%.
Look at PDD. What?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, so we are, I tell you what, having some puts has been quite nice.
Indeed.
Uh,
Indeed. The other thing that is pretty sweet is having time on these trades.
yeah,
The more
these
the
puts have been a
merrier.
putting.
All right, Apple is getting a nice bounce. I'm mad as heck. Heck, I'm mad as hell. Actually, I'm mad as hell that I knew I wanted to short Baba and I just slipped my mind completely. Whatever.
I said, whatever. Uh, yeah. Um, Palantir is getting ready to crap the whole entire bed. I don't even. Uh,
Let me see what I can get on Google. Mm-mm-mm.
I'm looking at. Let's see. What do we have?
I'm gonna go out a little, although I don't think I need to. I'm probably gonna go out a little bit further on Google. Um,
How much further are you talking?
April 17th.
Oh, I thought you meant in terms of price.
Uh,
Okay.
I was looking at the March 21st 180 on Love Right at the Money, but in case it does that whole stalling, running out the shot clock thing that um Amazon did, I want to have some time. So let's see if I get filled. I took the April 17th 175s.
I
And
am. I'm looking at. I don't know if I want to do spy or. Ooh, look at Tesla. That's stealing cousin. What did you say? That's the one, oh, the one you got to watch your purse around.
mm-hmm.
Palantir. Ooh, Palantir. Oh, Palantir. I don't know if I want another.
Let's
It seems that I should just be letting. I said I was closing out at what 415%.
I would not, but that's one of those trades that I would take a screenshot of and be like, "Oh, look what I did." Um,
And that's my last one. We're at 469% because we scaled out. And again, that's for other people who let me look at while we're going here because it doesn't look like for me if this 618 does not catch SPY, we are
to
at
do
the
something about um
7-1.
something in the morning to address because it complicates things. Honestly, this kind of complicates things, and that's not to say that I would catch 100% of the entries or remember 100% of the things that I wanted to be remembering if we weren't on here. But I think that I do a lot better uh when nothing is running um alongside my trading. So I got to figure out how I am more organized with that in the morning cuz I missed what I knew I wanted to get in and got in some other stuff.
I'm pretty confident in this put, so I just spent a decent chunk of change. But I'm trading SPX. So I took it's a 2000 trade, a $2,000 trade, the 5970s for the
I'm
26th.
sorry, repeat that for me. What did you take those on?
SPX.
5970s. Like you got to
Hmm.
run it all the way back to me cuz if I'm doing something on my laptop, I'm definitely not hearing what you're saying. So you took
Yeah, this will be a quick trade, but it looks like we're getting ready to dump real quick. So that's where I'm at. 'Cause I definitely think we can get to 5980 today. Um, and that trade is, yeah, I don't, it's up about 1%, but again, I feel this dump a coming. Jesus, I should have put some puts on. Woo, I should have did some puts on MicroStrategy. It looked really weak. Bitcoin is cratering. Yeah. Some at the money and the money spy puts might not be bad for those with smaller budgets. I like the Friday 598 put, 597. And I know you like those at the money and the monies for these kinds of things.
mhm.
So that would have been my alternative to the SPX put that I played. The other thing that's kind of telling is these big red candles on the 15. Tesla's printing one. Carvana's definitely printing one. I think we're going to play limbo with this bad boy. Nvidia is printing one. Looks like it's getting ready to fall. Oh, that's the daily.
On the flip side, Apple is printing an equally large green candle, which is interesting. I'm already holding
it is.
some
It's getting ready to come
of your
back.
Apple calls from last week.
Oh, girl, why didn't you? That That you should close those some time ago.
Close Apple calls?
Hmm.
Close Apple calls? Are we looking at the same chart right now?
Oh, no, 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 no. I thought you when I said that I closed those some time ago. I closed mine, but remember I had been holding the 45s and the 50s, the 240s and 250s. So wasn't much of a thing. Could we just let the bottom fall out of this? This, this.
Apple.
Yeah, up about 9%. We're just gonna see. I honestly, I'm very uncomfortable. Like, and so Apple, it was, yeah, Apple has every reason to be running though. Like I said, I'm personally, my bias, like I said a little bit earlier, is to the downside today, and as a result, I won't be unless something changes. Let me just say that unless something changes, I will not be taking calls. Um, unless and until then.
Yeah,
Right now.
look at, and I'm not seeing anything that I was like kind of looking at DVN. Um, but then it started to look a little shaky. No, I like DVN. I like DVN. And I know that's supported by I feel like politician trading. So I like to be a contrarian, I think. And the other thing is fintech. I like some of the let's see what SoFi is doing. Ooh,
What is SoFi
dropping like everything else.
doing? Dropping it like it's hot.
Yeah. But on the
Mm-hmm.
other hand, new is up a 5%, almost 5% this morning.
Tell you what, that
Um,
damn Carvana is still dropping it like it's hot. We like it. We like it. Show me a little leg. And so, what I was gonna sell 100% ago, something like that. So,
Amazon is still dropping. I can't believe that I let them trick me out my spot.
look at just another red day. If you were in Apple, I don't know how long I would trust that I would take my money and then reposition Tesla. How we go from being up 10 to down 10 on Tesla. Well, I know exactly how that happened. It's Tesla.
Yeah. Tesla is that tricky son of a gun.
Hmm. And we got
So I want to. I don't know. I kind of like.
UNH just does not want to have follow through, but that's okay
So
because I
I kind of think that what happened there was they they knew about it before we did, which of course is always the case, and
knew about what.
that investigation.
Oh, of course. Like somebody always knows, right? And so that makes me pay attention when stuff just doesn't make sense. It's like, well, why is it, and then they just the other, just like App Lovin with some of these phenomenal earnings. Like, why is it down? Um, why, just like some of the stuff, like why are they selling? Why are they selling Meta? Why are they, because everybody knows not really a huge big deal in terms of the regulation. They're already regulated on their other platform. And by the way, that SPX put I took is now 33%. I think it's
And
going to run. I'm just at this point, and videos drop like, yeah, yeah, I wouldn't. I personally wouldn't, even though Apple is green right now. But actually, let me see. Maybe I'll scalp a nice 245 put because I feel like it just falls in sympathy with everything else. That would be my thought. It just falls. And again, right? We don't need a reason. They don't need a reason. They didn't need a reason. Um, but
it,
I'm liking the way my puts are putting. Let's try and find something. Ooh. Um, Interesting. Lily is still a little green. Uh, what a day. What a day. I am presently up about 20% on my account overall for the day.
1.7. I need to
Um,
go check Robinhood to see what Intel is doing over there. Something else is open over there
and
too.
no, Intel is crap in the bed, $24. So I exited my leaps on Friday. Remember, I said, oh, well, no, we're not doing none of this. Um,
That's not even what I meant to do.
so what was
Uh,
the catalyst for China falling? Because I could see some retracement, but I don't think I necessarily saw retracement this deeply.
I think that is just that they have run. I forgot. I told you like this morning. Oh, they've been running since 12/24, 12/20 or something like that. And I think that
Yeah.
it's just that really. Cuz what oh, it could very well be that they found that new strain of COVID over there.
Oh, God damn it, you're right. Duh. Duh, 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 duh.
That could be it.
So I'm not gonna say find anything to toss a put on, but right now there
I
is
mean,
nothing
that's the
compelling
energy
to the
that's given.
upside. There's nothing compelling to the upside to me at this point. So sorry, folks, if you are tired of just hearing us chatter, but right now, if you had some good puts, you're getting paid, um, and you're getting paid. And the volume, where are we at 9 minutes? Jesus. The volume, and look at SMCI. The volume seems that this is some pretty good selling that I'm seeing on these candles based on the volume as well. Like I said, there's no reason for Apple to come down, but it's just going to come down in sympathy with everything else. But this is just, I don't know, what I would call a fall out the sky day. But I have to use the ladies' room real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. I want to be March 7th. So I am thinking about getting back in Amazon puts. Let me throw my screen up real quick. Always based on a high time frame perspective. Where is
So I'm actually, so that's what I'm just getting up from a Zoom call.
let me mute the lady.
Can we talk anytime?
All right. So this is our let me get back over there. This is our support. Um yep. This lone two candle combination here is our support. We have the gap down to 207. Yeah, so I'm gonna stop talking about it and start being about it real quick. You just get in a few. I want to put some time on it actually. I'm the queen of putting some time on it. I know that I have a shorter term perspective on this, but still, it just makes more sense to me for my trading style to have some time to let the move develop. So far, let me see what's going on here. All right, I fell for my own trap kind of because this is the kind of stuff that in the mentorship I tell them that they're looking for this as their put entry. And somehow I fell for it. But at the money with 321 date, and so I'm just gonna let it come back up and probably roll it into a put. The only platform that I know that you can do that on is E-Trade. E-Trade is my favorite options trading platform. So in Google puts, still holding some really Google. Still holding some Palantir puts. Looking like they might want to get a bounce. I'm up significantly on that. So I'm going to take that profit. I'll tell you 69%. It's not bad, but it's not good, but it's not great. It's not spectacular, 69%. But it's not bad either. So I'm going to take that. And I don't know how much I agree. I'm gonna pull the Apple chart up as soon as I get out of this Palantir put. Pull the Apple chart up and see if I agree with this sympathy thing that Natasha is talking about, because I'm not sure. I do believe in the idea. Ooh, 950. Um, I do believe that there can be and often are, let's just peek here for a second. Often are those stocks that just do not conform. And it looks like Apple wants to be that one. And my basis for it was this big ass W. I'm cursing while Natasha's not here because I'll be telling her not to curse. But this big ass double bottom off of the 200 moving average
Oh,
on a higher
okay.
time frame
I've been
chart.
here. I've just been muted. I didn't realize.
Oh, you heard me.
Yeah, I could hear you. Right. You said, watch your mouth, ma'am.
So we've got, I think, Natasha, I'm getting back in these Apple calls because
Okay.
for
Again, so I think some of that
our,
is risk management, right? So if you're one
Mhm.
of our students and you have significant profit, I would say take it because we don't know what the market is going to continue to do.
Well,
So
I
if
mean,
you,
that's the name of the game until we get back in a more predictable market. But it's like, so I'm trying to make daily bread every day. So,
I
um,
just made several $1,000s in the last, what, 30 minutes? Several.
250.
So
So let's see. Hold on one second. I'll be with you in a second. I'm trying to see the difference in cost of the 250 and the 255. Hmm.
well, while we're here, let's see. Ooh,
So the points that I was making is just for, and I think for the most part, that is the nature of traders and even our students that when I don't know if they're doing too much holding.
I would hope they're
Um,
not. Not with all of this volatility. Like I definitely think that my spot and SPX can go in the money today. It's trying to hold. It's doing what it's doing, but we're gonna see. What I will tell you is I won't let it go against me. I bought enough time on it that yeah, that I'm good to go. Like Jesus, just some of this
so the things that
downside
I
that we're.
expected to bounce are bouncing, and I'll give you some of them, right? Is NU. This is my setup on NU. This is my setup in general. So maybe that there was something else down here. Apple, I'm gonna do the wise thing and wait for more of a retrace before I think about entering that. But I'm gonna get at the money on Apple with some time. Google's being a There was something else up in this area that I was like, yep, that's my entry.
Well, and the year's green again, so we may in fact be turning a little bit. I just sustainability is important here.
Absolutely.
Anything.
Everything is doing this, but so one of the things that could certainly happen, it happens quite often, is they trade back into those lower moving averages 2150 and then sell off again. But still red, red, red. Let me see what SMCI is doing. I am um yeah, I'm gonna get
It's
in
all
a
a bounce.
kind of lotto SMCI because and you know what my expectations are for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely
I
do.
think that come hell or high water, they gonna produce some paperwork.
Now, how accurate it's going to be would be
Oh,
the question.
but I think that evidence would suggest that they're gonna have some paperwork, some paperwork. 60. I think when it goes, if it goes to, let me look at it. I think my charts are shared, so let's just get an idea of. It's got that same W, that same double bottom that Apple has. It's gotta clear the 50 moving average. It's at the 200 on the daily, wicking on the 4 hour. I don't want to be kicking myself, but I also don't want to fall victim to FOMO um, and my addiction to being right.
And I think it's less about not so much being right. We could be right for 20 minutes. And, the window of opportunity for being right could close pretty quickly.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think SMCI. Let me see what Baba's doing. All of China, actually. Everything is getting a bounce here, and so
Mhm. But this is what we would expect to see. Like, I know you're not shocked.
mm-mm. But I'm not convinced either way yet. I guess.
Well, and that's just kind of where I'm at. So, you know me, it's almost 10:30. That's what I'm waiting for. My puts are still up nicely.
The other thing that I like to think about is the mind of the retail trader. And so people in that group is this one group that I just go in there and I'm like, what the hell? But people in that group, we'll just talk about the people in that group, have come into the market this morning at 9:30. They've seen all of this and they have done what?
Well, I don't know. I think I have an idea of which group you're talking
Just
about. I don't
talk
know what they
about
did. I don't care what they
just
did.
think about retail traders in general.
Oh, you think they probably all got short?
Hmm.
Yeah. As I say, like puts will pay you quickly, but puts will if you and so I think the problem with puts is they pay so quickly that people get greedy and think, oh, some more, some more, some more. I'm okay to take a quick 70, 80%, bloop, and out 20 minutes.
Hmm.
I'm so happy to do something like that and be done with it. Matters not to me.
Sometimes you don't
But
have to, unless you're basing it on a higher time frame. That's your best bet in this market, unless you really know what you're doing and you have proven yourself an adept trader. Because listen, they are busting heads.
well, and we talked about that this morning, right? Like how many people got smoked over the last couple of days. I would venture to guess that those numbers are actually quite high.
I came into them in one account, the one that I E-Trade, the one that I love to trade options in, with 50% cash, and then I actually moved 50% of that out of the account because it's just not the time that you want to be really heavy on either side, in my opinion.
Hmm. And you want to take the profit when you see it. And like I said, I know our viewers are tired of me saying that, but you and I have both witnessed it happen. It's like, oh, I was up. I was up. I blinked my eye, and I know you can retell your story, but I blinked, and like here we are.
Listen,
Uh-uh.
that you talking about that $18,000 cup of coffee? I'm not gonna tell that story. I've told it enough times,
No,
but y'all.
we're not. We're not going to tell the $18,000 cup of coffee story, but it
But you
happens,
know,
right?
those are the experiences that, and hopefully most people won't have them to that extent, but those are the experiences that teach you really quickly. And so that can kill your spirit. And so we've been working on a mindset component to our mentorship and mastermind programs. And one of the things that has helped me to shake those losses off is to, as many times as I need to, just tell myself, oh, you just paid for training. Just paid for training. The the determining factor is, are you going to learn from the training that you just paid for? So when you take those huge hurtful losses, just tell yourself that you just paid X price for training and that it's up to you whether or not you learn from the training that you just paid for.
Hmm. All right. We are relocating because there's no comfortable place to sit in the man cave where there is a socket close enough, believe that or not, without like some heroics to plug in. So housekeepers are gone. We're going back up the
All right, let's talk
stairs.
about that real quick. So I booked my flight to DC. So we're gonna be spending some time together over the weekend and Monday and Tuesday doing a live training with some folks down in DC. But on Friday, we're gonna be having a traders meet and greet. And so if you can make it down to the Maryland DC area, shoot one of us a message so we can give you the location and the time. So that's exciting.
It is, and it seems like they're trying to get back this bounce here.
I have been really, 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 really intent um about making sure that I tell the mastermind members, oh, take that profit, take that profit. One of them has, what was it, 600%? 600%. One of them has grown their
Hmm.
account in, was it a month ago that I was in Maryland, Natasha? Or a little
About
more,
that. Hmm.
say between 4 and 6 weeks, has grown their account uh 600%. One of them anyway. And so I think I'm glad for that person to be having this experience because it will teach them the value of, like, there's no way they're going to go negative in that account, but of taking those profits when you see them. Because what used to happen to me, and maybe you can relate to this, is I would be like a deer in the headlights. Sometimes just in awe of the profits, and instead of exiting, I would just be sitting there staring impressed at myself, I guess.
I have had that happen, and ain't nothing like losing some of your cold hard cash to snap you out of that one real quick. So like, yeah,
It will learn you.
indeed, it will learn
I
you.
appreciate the lessons that I've had over the years because I think they're necessary. I think it's number one, it's impossible for anybody to come in um to learn this craft and not take those lumps. But if you remember them and you learn from them, they can be instrumental in your development. All right, so I'm looking at, and I know you're gonna be like, girl, are you crazy? But I'm gonna see if I can go to my trusty bar chart and see what I can get on Tim for.
Oh, and you know what? While you're doing that, I will look at hims and hers.
All right, no new politician trading. Tim.
What are your thoughts on hims
So
for?
I thought it was at a spot earlier. Let me just look at my chart real quick. I think Tim, this is our entry on Tim at my 886. And that's supported by Kathy Wood and what's that lady's name? Nancy Pelosi.
Marjorie Taylor
Marjorie.
Greene.
Yeah,
Oh
her
no,
too. I'm probably. But you asked about hymns.
Auntie Margie.
So I still think, let me just put my chart up real quick so you can see exactly what I'm looking at. Boom, boom, boom. Is this foolproof? Absolutely not. Oh, I am sharing my screen.
Mhm.
Okay, so is that 886 foolproof? No, but I do like what I'm seeing. Um, but another way to play that is to play Teledoc. I like what I'm seeing on Teledoc as well. And they were talking about what caught my eye, how I became interested in hims and hers, or even came to know about it, was they were talking about it being a potential acquisition target for Amazon. And I could see that.
Oh,
And so that's how I became interested. Yeah, I think everything. If I draw a fib on 10 different charts, I think that I'm going to see 10 886s. So I think they shook the sugar honey iced tea out of retail traders, and now we're going to go the other direction. Mm, what was that?
well, we're almost at 10:30. Like I said, you know how much I enjoy the 10:30 hour
Well, go ahead and put your
or the
charts back up because I'm gonna be looking at this what do you call it? Bar chart
What are you
options
looking
for
at?
the next 10 minutes to find one contract.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Let's go over here. All right. So I'm so this is what we're doing, right? Well, what I'm doing. She's over there looking for a contract. Like I said, I'm a level of confidence that we are going to create a lower low today. So what we came down to 59.83 looks like. So I'm just waiting on that lower low. I bought some time looking at coin crap the beds. There's a bunch of stuff that's getting a little bit of a bounce, but is below some of our important averages. And coin, I'm probably actually going to have to go and redraw my fibs based on what it has done in the last couple of days so that we're looking accurately at the price action that we want to trade.
Now, you say you're gonna move your fib.
Yeah, because I think so on coin. Yeah, I think because we've already taken out some of yeah, yeah. Let's see where we can potentially go.
Apple. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute and see. Here we go. SPX doing exactly what I wanted to do, but what I'm expecting it to do. Um, I I think we see a flush in a few minutes here. And Carvana is just I don't know. It just said night night, folk.
I think I had 200 on Carvana.
We did.
Um.
And so I think
Ooh.
that so we had what was the support that we had, but it has broken well, well lower than that support. MicroStrategy is crap in the bed. I think I probably have that one marked up
Yeah, I think
somewhere.
200 on Carvana.
hmm I think I'm just getting ready to. Am I taking my 589%? We're gonna have to post this one, and I think I might get a little
I
bit.
might roll it. Like I might take some profit by rolling it to a what's the date on it?
Oh, girl, I bought the 7th, but I bought that last week.
Okay. I was gonna say if it were like the 21st, I would roll it to the 7th, with a different strike to pull some of my profit out. But
Well, and I was already.
you already did
I'm
that.
sitting at 230. Remember that was our first. That was our first. Jesus, Palantir's at 89. Let the games begin. Let's go ahead and print some money here, folks. Um, I'll say Apple. Apple may be your outlier. It is holding pretty well. Let me grab my coffee out the microwave.
TSLA. So I have a rule on Tesla where I only trade Tesla on Thursdays. And every time, not every time, but most times that I go against that rule, I understand why I have the rule. Um and so are we perfect? I'm gonna speak for myself. Am I perfect? No, I'm not. But I want to hold this. I want to hold this, or I'm gonna hold it. Might as well hold it
So,
now. But every time I
so
break
I know we're
that
wrapping up at
Tesla
10.
rule, I get reminded why I should not break the Tesla rule. Thursdays is just an ideal day to jump in Tesla. I'm gonna take my goddamn money and roll out. And use my capital elsewhere.
Hmm. Put seemed to be the name of the game today. Uh, I think. Okay. So I know we're wrapping up a bit earlier, but folks, if you're not used to trading in these conditions, cash is a position. As I try and tell people every day, cash is a position. It was my largest position today, and it will be my largest position when I close all my trades today as well. Just because I'm inputs doesn't mean that I will hold them all because they could wake up tomorrow and say, the war has ended, and all of my puts go straight to nothing. So I will only be holding. I'll be playing with the house money. So anything that is open has already paid for itself. I do think, as usual, if you're in the chat, you'll get any calls or anything like that we're seeing in the interim. But the market it needs to pick up some traction to the upside, or else I think we see significant drops throughout the remainder of the day. And that's what I got for you. I don't have anything to the upside. We just talked about the idea of potentially a 200 Carvana put. I think it gets there potentially today. Um, coin and coin and MicroStrategy. I don't even know what it calls itself doing. It is down 14%. Palantir. Yeah. SNCI, I may position myself. Actually, Leslie, let's look at that real quick before we go. So Leslie is definitely of the mindset that they will file this report, and on time. So that's tomorrow. We know. I don't hate the 65 calls for this week in anticipation of that, but I also probably want to be looking at some really cheap puts, because if they get a D-list letter, they're going to drop like a rock.
Carvana. So I'm kind of waiting because I'm still not thoroughly convinced in either direction. And that's because so many things are at significant levels that this could just be that final fake out before they turn around. That doesn't mean that I'm going to go piling into calls on anything, but um also not going to be piling into puts on anything. I am exiting some stuff though. um,
Mm-hmm.
MRUS, dang, I think I was up like 80% and now I'm only up 36%. It only takes a minute, folks. Limits. Spread is next.
Well, and I think that was the point that I was making. Like, don't get too comfortable in any particular position. Especially puts, because puts pay very nicely, but when they start going against you, but we've also, just keep in mind what you've seen. You've seen this market. Anybody who's been floating around with us or who's watching on a day-to-day basis over the last month and a half, how many times have you seen the market down 60, 70 points to turn around and jump 30 points in a matter of minutes based on news or whatever other catalyst? So that's what I'm looking at. I don't see anything that is making me feel like we're due for a bounce, but that doesn't necessarily mean news can come at any time. Like, just like the example I gave of, someone making the announcement that the Russia-Ukraine war is over. The market's going to bounce and all your defense stocks are going to tank. Nothing you can do about that other than protect your assets, take your cash.
Oh boy, they get
Oh,
on my
poor little.
nerves. JP Morgan cuts the price target from 15 to 14. Like y'all could have just saved
One what?
on NU. They could have saved that ink.
Mm,
Um yeah. I'm gonna be watching Tim, and it is um not doing anything spectacular right now. It's kind of the only thing that I may enter at this point, in addition to what I have already entered, let's see, is I might take some Tesla puts now that I'm cognizant of no, dummy, that was just set up. Um, if that setup presents itself again, I'm getting back in there. And it will not be a revenge trade, but I'm definitely gonna get my scratch back. And that's that. It's 10:35. So we are going to be ending the show until um something prompts us to maybe change again or make further adjustments, we're gonna start ending the show around 10:30 instead of 11 because we kind of agree, and our viewers agree that it starts to drag a little bit at 10:30. Natasha, um, I guess her ideal trading time is about then, so she just gave you kind of her final closing thoughts, and we will see you guys back tomorrow. Give me a call when you finish whatever stuff you have to do.
I'm getting ready to go to the she shed and shed she. um, 'Cause I got all this stuff that still has to get out. So I will be floating about.
I
I'm
guess I'll
free.
start packing at some point today. But if anything, of course, mentorship and mastermind members know if anything exciting presents itself. I want to look at one last thing.
You will be the first to know. And just FYI, new, no, 6 cents off of a new low. But I say all that to say is NVIDIA is trying to make a new low on the day right now.
Mm, okay. All right.
Just
Well,
something to be aware of. And yeah. So, all right, good people. I will not be with you guys tomorrow, but
oh, wait, what's tomorrow? You can tell me offline, but there's a potential with that I may not be, and or there may be a shortened show, but we will let you know.
okay. So, I will see you guys all very soon. Be safe here in these markets. And if you need anything, if you're a member, definitely feel free to reach out. But we're going to keep you safe here in these markets and profitable.
All right, Miss Lady, I will talk to you soon.